Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, Chapter 68. When we last left our heroes, we got a lot of information about Elentir, and Toka, and Faris, who is the White Wizard's name. Specifically, that Faris believes that the Elentir is under some kind of danger from Selene, though when Toka and Faris left Elentir, it seemed to be fine. Faris also was not the original White Wizard. There was another White Wizard 100 years ago who went missing, and when Faris arrived, she took over the mantle of White Wizard and the leadership of Rebellious. We also still have not really seen any members of Rebellious besides Faris. And I guess, Whited Out Fairy Tale at the mid-Alderaan. But yeah, it looks like also that we're going to be leaving Aedolas very, very, very soon, if not this chapter. So yeah, let's just jump right on into Chapter 68, Moon Dragon God Selene. We see Urza here in a traditional, I don't know if it's traditional, Chinese-looking dress. I think it's a cheongsam, I think it's pronounced. With she's lying on a bed couch, maybe, there's a sword over her. Her charms are dangerous. Chapter 68, Moon Dragon God Selene. And so we open where we left off, with Fairy Tale taking in the news that, Selene will destroy Elentir. And Faris continues, Elentir has a different problem than Aedolas. Its magic power has expanded too much, like a volcano on the verge of eruption. And we focus on Wendy with this line, which might just be, at random, but I'm curious if that means anything to Wendy. I don't think it should. But Toka counters, it didn't feel that way at all to me. It's not something any ordinary person would know. I also compared this to Golden Sun, last time. My memories of playing Golden Sun a decade ago. And like I said, maybe while it looks like Faris is doing something evil, perhaps in the end it's kind of good. I don't remember my exact argument, that just popped into my head all of a sudden. I think it's particularly Toka's line about not feeling that way to me, just like most of the people in Golden Sun didn't realize that, that the lack of alchemy was going to destroy the world, or alchemy's weakness was going to destroy the world. I don't remember. I should really replay Golden Sun. Those are some great games. Anyway, it's not something any ordinary person would know. For generations, my family served as priestesses who would erase Elentir's overabundant magic. Natsu asks, priestesses who erase magic? Lucy works out, so that's what your whiteout power is for. Yes. So maybe her coming to Earthland's magic and Elentir's magic are connected somehow? She'll probably explain if I just, shut up and continue. If whiteout wizards from different places didn't erase magic power for several times a year, it is said that it would cause a great explosion in Elentir. That's just not a good system. Not a good system for your world to live under. Urza responds, goodness, and Gray, that sounds rough. And Faris continues, one day a woman calling herself Selene asked something of me. And we see what seems to be fairly recent, as Faris still looks roughly her same age. Could you erase Earthland's magic power? And Faris asks, why would I do such a thing? I'm one of the 5 dragon gods. What do you mean? Selene just jumps right on into it. There's no, pleasantries, just yeah, go fuck with Earthland for me. There are 5 similar dragons, myself included. And Faris shocked, dragons? Indeed. But while we 5 dragon gods are bound together, we are not on the best of terms. We are at risk. We must erase it, or else... Erase it? Could that be Acnol? Because we know the dragon gods fled to Giltena 400 years ago to escape Acnologia. So maybe Selene... Well, if this is a few years ago, then Acnologia was still alive. So maybe Selene sent Faris to Earthland to stop Acnologia? Maybe? Possibly? I don't know. Faris asks, well, why come to me? I have traversed many worlds, but it's considerably hard to find a wizard that can erase magic power. Finally, I found one in this world. Wait, does that mean there are more worlds? Because no one in Aedalos has magic. And many worlds implies she's traversed multiple worlds, and she would have like knocked off Aedalos super fast. So she'd only been traversing Earthland, Elentir, and any other worlds. I have no idea that's going to be relevant anytime in the future, but that's something to keep in the back of your mind, that there may be other worlds in Fairy Tail. Anyway, finally I found one in this world. And Faris looks away. That has nothing to do with us. No, it has everything to do with you. I can't rest easy as long as the other dragon gods are in Earthland. If you don't kill those 4, and then she looms over Faris, then Elentir is mine. Okay. So it looks like then her goal is not to kill Acnologia, but to kill the dragon gods? Which means she almost has the same mission as unless, no, she's lying. She's definitely lying. That's like that was the turn in chapter 50, was Faris realizing she'd been played by Elentir, and that destroying the orbs did not kill Alderaan, but instead unleashed his sleeping personality. Which means there's more going on here with Selene than we know. But she's definitely, because the specific thing that happens with Alderaan makes sense if her goal is actually to awaken the dragon gods. But Mercphobia just kind of loses his magic. Like, what Faris does to Mercphobia is basically what Selene is telling her. Which makes sense when I take that out of context. I'm kind of jumbled right now. Anyway, hopefully the rest of the chapter will give us some answers, but there's a whole lot to dig into here. Which makes sense, as this is kind of our big plot-revealing chapters. So anyway, we have Selene looming over Faris, scarily. Then Elentir is mine. And we see Faris, like, shaking, sweating, tears forming. Can you see my magic power? Yes. Then you know you have no right to object. But if you have that much magic power, surely you have the strength to... and Selene responds, I might be able to kill just one. Then again, it's possible I may die as well. Our power rivals each other. Your power is necessary to gain an advantage. Okay, but the interesting thing there is, if Faris is not strong enough to handle Selene, why does Selene think she's strong enough to handle the other dragon gods? Like, this line about necessary to gain an advantage implies that it's Faris plus Selene. But we don't really see Selene interacting with Faris, really at all in the present timeline so far. So, I don't know. But anyway, she leaves Faris and we come back to the present. And Faris continues, After that, I stole Tokusan's body and came to Earthland. The first thing I did was take control of the white magic cult. However, I did take in massive amounts of the white creed from the believers and spun out of control as a result. What does that mean? Take in massive amounts of the white creed? Because my first instinct is that she kind of let the power go to her head, which explains why she was kind of a little full of herself when we first met her. And that still doesn't quite answer the fact that, like, we just haven't met any other rebellious members. So the white magic cult feels like a concept without any real weight behind it. Like, it's compared to Avatar. And with Avatar, we heard about Avatar members by meeting a bunch of Avatar members. And we saw all of their henchmen and their foot soldiers. And so while the Avatar arc is one of the weakest arcs in the series, admittedly, we still felt that Avatar was a real presence. Rebellious, we haven't really seen that from yet. And maybe we will going forward. Setting up the White Wizard implies that maybe they will come back at some point. I don't know. Anyway, focusing. Lucy responds, but that's... Anyway, Selene's plan first involved whiting out Alderaan while he was building strength. That way, we could manipulate Alderaan into fighting the other dragons. Okay. And Wendy asks, you intended to control Alderaan? Yes. But as we all know, I failed. Selene told me that if all of his orbs were destroyed, then Alderaan would lose his power. And Happy asks, but instead he was revived. And Carla thinks, why would Selene lie about that? I have no idea, but the fact remains that I was fooled. So it looks here, though, to step back again, because again, there's just so much to dig into in this chapter, that perhaps Faris moved on Mercphobia on her own. That Selene's plan was always manipulate Faris into reviving Alderaan. And then whatever she wants from there, we don't know yet, we don't have the information to know yet. And that maybe what Faris did to Mercphobia was of her own will. Which would explain why what she did to Mercphobia doesn't really mesh with what she did to Alderaan. Maybe. Let's just continue. It's good to know, though, that like we're supposed to be confused here, because Faris is just as lost as we are. And so Lucy tries to summarize everything. So to sum up, Selene wanted the other dragon gods out of the way. She asked Faris to wipe them out, but just as Selene planned, when she tried to white out Alderaan, he was revived instead. And Natsu snaps, what's the deal with that Selene chick? And Lucy just looks chick. Which I'm guessing is one of those, I feel like that feels like the kind of thing, there's a translation thing going on there. I'm guessing it's, she's like questioning the casualness that Natsu refers to Selene with. Anyway, Urza says, but we're all thinking, I don't understand. What are her true intentions to begin with? And Gray adds on, so you were scared that Elentir would get destroyed by Selene? And Toka asks, is there no room for negotiation? Even though your plan failed, Alderaan was defeated anyway. And just then we hear a voice. There is no room. And we see Selene using Aqua Era to enter into Aedolas, right above them. From the very start, I never cared about Earthland or Aldachan. Ha 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 ha. And everyone just stares in shock at... I don't know if they know that's Selene. Because on the bottom panel, Faris murmurs out, Selene. And just then, at least Natsu and Lucy react. That's her? Though it's kind of obvious that it's her. Just because she enters in with a fucking Aqua Era. A hole in the sky. This is, Edo Wendy. What is that? Is it anima? And Toka responds, it's Aqua Era. And Faris asks, well, what do you mean? I've taken quite a liking to Elentir, so I decided to live there. We see Faris starting to panic. Day by day, little by little, I'm going to kill the humans. Think about it. Wouldn't that solve this whole too much magic power problem? Maybe, unless magic power is kind of floating in the air. And then Faris asks, then what would I do with Alderaan? I just figured that reviving Aldochan would make boring old Earthland more interesting. Wait, what? She's just here for the chaos? And Faris screams, you meant to revive Alderaan from the start? Correct. But I never even imagined he'd get defeated. He was quite weak, it seems. And Natsu glares at her. Why you? It's no good for me, unless the world is ugly and distorted. Elentir is fine. It's already full of distortion. And Faris just is like having a breakdown. Please stop. How should I stir it up? I simply can't wait. Stop it. And then Faris finally snaps. Don't destroy our world. And just then, we see... It looks like Faris is shot in the stomach. We see some like blood. A hole in her chest, and like a very small hole, not like an instant fatal one, but like, and some blood spurt out. Huh? And Selene responds, Elentir has already been destroyed. Okay. And Faris collapses. Faris-san! And Wendy goes, presumably to do some healing magic. Wait, no, she doesn't have magic. Oh shit, I think Faris might... They don't have any way to save Faris. But Natsu jumps up to catch Selene. That does it! Natsu! You defeated Alderaan, child of Igneal. You really are Ignea's brother. She says with a wink. Just this once. I'll play with you a little. We see Natsu actually does get some magic. Did he take an X-Ball? I thought only Toka used the X-Ball. but she just kind of stops Natsu's full like flaming fist with her bare hand. And we see she like grins. We see like her fangs exposed. Natsu grimaces, and she transforms into her full dragon form. It looks like it's her dragon form. And then Natsu, or not Natsu, Happy and Carla look around. Wait, what's this? Everything's dark. And we see the moon appears behind her. It's nighttime? And I love this panel right here, as Natsu and Selene just like square down. It's just it's just one of those panels that shows like the scope of the fight, and it's just so cool. And Selene tells Natsu, "Let us go to Elentir." And we see the moon shines behind her and gets larger. What's that? The moon is coming closer? It can't be. And we see Urza, Wendy, and Faris are like blinded by the light. What's happening? The light gets closer. And as it's more spherical than just like the circle of the moon now, and it covers all of them. Except Edo Wendy, who as the dust clears, guys, are you And she sees they're gone. Okay? Huh? And she looks around. I thought it changed to night all of a sudden, but it's daytime again. And everyone disappeared. I think they're okay. You can do it, little me. And so as we see Wendy again. For a second, our Wendy. And for a second, I thought Wendy would have popped back down to Adelos, but it looks like she's on Elentir with the rest of the group, which is good. And it looks like everyone is there on like a cloud. And Gray looks around. What happened? That was transportation magic, is Toka. And Wendy, remembering what happened to Faris, goes to tend to her. Faris-san! And she takes a look. Her magic is back because she's an Elentir. So she starts healing. Thank goodness, she missed her vitals. Natsu looks around. Where did Selene go? And Lucy looks like she's not here. And Happy finally realizes that they're on a cloud. Hang on, we're on top of a cloud? But how? And Faris, knowing where she is, this is Elentir. And we see... I'm not sure if this is what Elentir is supposed to look like, but it looks like a collection of islands. And it might be that Selene has destroyed the land so much that this is all that's left. So yeah, just because we don't know about Elentir, I don't know how bad a state Elentir is in just from looking at this picture. But then we see somewhere in a more mountainous region, Selene is back on her base, and she looks up at the moon. Now then, time to play, Dragon Child. So yeah, with that we are jumping right on into Elentir. I really cannot say enough just what energy Selene's appearance brings to this chapter. Like, this chapter is good in its first half for all of the answers, and especially all the questions it brings up about what exactly Selene's goal is. And setting up... So, before I do that, before I go any further, I want to dig into what I think Selene was after with Faris, and how I think Faris will be relevant to the Selene arc from here. And specifically, so she says here, her goal was just to, like, make Earthland more interesting by reviving Alderaan. And part of that might be true. But I think another goal, as she points out that the Whiteout powers can stop dragon gods, implies that she's that probably Faris is the last of her line, and that she's scared that Faris can stop her. That Faris's Whiteout magic, as we know, can stop Merkphobia. Presumably could have stopped Alderaan had she used it properly and not wasted her time with the orbs. And so it can probably stop Selene as well. And that would be why she, tried to kill Faris immediately after her arrival in Adelos, and why she sent Faris out to Earthland in the first place. As to why she did that instead of just killing Faris, I'm going to listen to Selene's explanation here about wanting to make Earthland more interesting just for fun or whatever. I do think she's being honest there. But then, yeah, the chapter instantly gets this burst of energy as soon as Selene enters. There's no more talking. Selene is here, and she's a threat. in ways we can't even really imagine yet. Like, it's kind of easy to imagine what a water dragon god's magic looks like, or a wood dragon god, or Ignia's fire. Do we still have, like, a metal dragon is the other dragon god we haven't had any interactions with yet? Those are all things that's kind of easy to figure out what their powers are. Selene is the moon. What the fuck does that even, like, what does moon dragon slaying magic look like? Or I guess it's moon dragon magic in this case. I don't know. But just her energy that she brings, that Selene brings to this chapter is incredible. It's just a great chapter. Though the energy seems to be gone for now. Now that Selene has left them alone in Elentir. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what comes next. Given the fact that it seems to be daylight when where Natsu and the gang are, and nighttime where Selene is, I guess she's far away? But given that Selene seems to bring the moon with her wherever she goes, maybe it's just night. It just appears to be night wherever she is, and she's kind of nearby. But we don't see any mountainous regions on these islands on the last page. I don't know. There's just a whole lot to dig into with this chapter, and it's great. This is a fantastic chapter. And I can't wait to see where the Selene arc takes us next. This is just, it's a hoot. And we still, honestly, supposedly, Diablo is going to be on their way, so there's still more shit to deal with in this arc. Yeah, I don't know. This is a great chapter, and I cannot wait to see where the Selene arc goes from here. So, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!